Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace. I am on my way to the grocery store. I just want to go walk around, pick up a couple of things, but mainly about getting out of the house. This is Texas, north of Dallas, and we've been through a major heat wave, still going through it, and I'm tired of being inside. I go out, like yesterday a couple times to get some lunch, and then like yesterday went to lunch, and then later on just go out. Okay, anyway, later on just went out to get to the convenience store after it was cooled off quite a bit. The highest I saw yesterday, it was a real feel, they call them real feels, heat index, whatever it is where you are. This one was the Weather Channel, I believe. Said it was 113. Yeah, that's pretty hot. And please don't say, but it's hotter over there. I'm not over there, I'm here. So, yeah, I will never forget. I know it happened at least once, but other things similar to that. You're like, do you really have to correct people? Seriously. Well, maybe there are some people you need to correct, like what I want to talk about in this video, and I'm going to give more than one example. That was kind of like one, but the people who do things, let's just right now at this point call it irritate the crap out of everybody. Well, maybe not everybody. Some people are just like them, but they can be very irritating. Let's put it that way. Okay, it's kind of a bit like the person at work. I have known this to happen, not to me, or maybe it did. I think it was sodas. But like you have something special, like you buy a diet soda, or you put it in the refrigerator at work, and somebody drinks it. Maybe they think that it's the boss, the business, whatever. They supply soda and they put them in the refrigerator and they go in, they drink it, not eat it. Did I say eat it? Well, they drink it. Yeah, I'm a little irritated. I don't know. Something's irritating my throat. We've been having very high pollen. It's called very high. I think since sometime last year. This is August 17, 2024. Yeah, it's a long time. Anyway, let me go on. I have a list. It has actually 8 on it, but I can combine some. And there's some I need to add. But some of those things that just really can irritate some people. I don't know, one size fits all kind of thing. So, okay, as I was saying, the person who, what I was about to say, you're at work and everybody puts their lunch or whatever in the refrigerator, and you kind of worked it out. There's plenty of room, and then, or people, they go to lunch and then they have a doggy bag, they leave it in the refrigerator for when they go home. Now, don't you know, there is quite often it happens. Quite often we hear these things kind of happen, or at least lately I have again, and that is when, somebody steals it. Somebody, like I said about the sodas. But when somebody steals a meal, but have you ever thought that the person who's stealing it isn't thinking that they're stealing it? Seriously, that they're so messed up, like, that not messed up as in, something they smoked or had it for lunch that they shouldn't have had. But besides somebody else's meal. But yeah, you know what I mean. But they don't see it that way. They might have in their brain somehow so messed up that they think that people who go out to eat, they just bring home the little extras, and that's for anybody. It's kind of like if the business has a luncheon for people. Some of them do, and they don't invite everybody in that department or in that area, and then what's left over goes in the refrigerator. Well, some people might think, okay, if it goes in the refrigerator, something left over is for everybody. You see? the rest of us. I actually worked at a place, man, seriously, and I heard the stories about that the upper, not the upper management, but it wasn't a place where you would say, oh, the upper management were the this, that, and the other. No, it was kind of like the management was kind of all blended. Everybody was important kind of thing, except for meals. They would have a thing just for the people in any level of management, but not the employees. But then whenever they would finish with their lunch, they would just leave stuff in the refrigerator for those of you who are just employees. Yeah, I mean, I heard people talk about it in those terms. Okay, do you have to tailgate? I'm telling you, this is a norm. People tailgate around here in parking areas. You know, there are kids running around. It's like somebody did that in the neighborhood the other day, and we just turned in, and he passed me. There's no passing there on the left or on the right, but he passed on the left. But we just turned in. Apparently, he was really busy, in such a hurry. Went to their home, had to get there and possibly kill some people along the way. They were going about 90 after that, I do believe. They were probably going about 60 on a 30 in a neighborhood with kids, lots of kids. Park right, elementary school right there. Behind it is a park, but no, they were in a hurry. Anyway, there's my sarcasm for the day. Anyway, person who steals your food from break room, refrigerator. But there can be something else going on, like I just said. Do we forgive him anyway? Well, find out what's going on before we pass a harsh judgment. Is that what's kind of norm there? When I was a career student at university, I worked a lot of temporary jobs, and I mean, just finding out about what was going on in their office dramas and stuff is amazing. And I don't like gossip. I don't gossip, but I would hear stuff like, really? I mean, some people say it's very petty stuff, but it is petty stuff. But the purpose behind what is petty is the important thing. What is the purpose? What's the, and including in this kind of stuff, is that person doing it on purpose to say, hey, anything in the refrigerator is mine? Or is it the person just thinks, oh, this is another one of those things, people had something, put it in the refrigerator, it's fine. Then they find out that's not fine. But anyway, let's move on. I have mentioned some of these in the past before about the people who they have to find fault, and or they're just people who believe that they are know-it-alls. They are know-it-alls. They think that they really do know it all. That they have this, I call it superior knowledge and wisdom and all this, and they really don't. And so they are people who, I have heard one of them would actually say, actually, at the end of anytime I would say something, he said, well, actually, and he was so like 100% of the time wrong. Seriously, actually, you're wrong. But, or it's implied. You finish a sentence and they say, the truth of the matter, or whatever, however they say it, is to say, you're wrong, I'm right. I know I have the superior knowledge. I know it more than you. Imagine somebody who is like me, a career student for over 20 years and taught at college and university and in my fields too. This other person who does not have degrees in those, either one, is telling me, actually, you see? That kind of person, the know-it-all. All right, how about the one who, whenever you're like, I mean, these can be at work, or these can be just family, in-laws, and in-laws are not just the parents-in-law, but, their family, or even like your siblings, husband's family, that can be bad, yeah. That can be your sibling, husbands or wives. family. Yeah, that know it all. Or they're just some truly bad behavior and they believe their behavior is 100% right and it's 100% wrong. Like it could be really poor hygiene. They think they're right for doing the thing the way that they do it, and it's actually really bad. Heard of one of those? Yeah, yes. Seems like I have more than 8. Because the next one was number 3, and I've already added in more. The people, like you're having a family gathering. Maybe you're the only one on your side, and the rest are all in-laws. However many, could be 2 others or more, the whole family. Who knows? A family reunion, and you're the only one who's not blood. Oof. Blood related. Oh, yeah. But what they do is that can be very irritating and very problematic for you, very insulting toward you, insulting whatever, is that they whisper to one another. So you can't hear it. Whether it's just, like I said, 2 others or however many, they're whispering to one another. They're all adults. It's not kids, it's adults. So your age, the next generation. But they do that on a regular basis. It's not like a one-time thing. Maybe one of them has an embarrassing thing that they need to tell the other one. They don't want anybody to hear. It's not that. It's that they whisper to one another. Anytime when you're around. Yeah. Okay, now I personally have experienced this, being married to somebody who, why do people do something like that? What? Look at you. I don't have a filter anymore. That was ridiculous, man. Back it up and go. See, people just do, too many people these days just do things the wrong way. He came very close to my fender. Not fender, but the front part of my car. You see, he was a big guy. Scary guy, too. And was like, waving his hand at me. Go right ahead, mister. Anyway, boy, you saw it all. Okay, I might have to raise this up because I'll be kids. I don't put kids in my videos, other people's kids. Anyway, I actually saw this one. Besides the whisper, they do that. But I have been to parties. I met and married somebody over 40 years ago, Adam. And he's from a country across the globe. Well, often we'd go to or have parties or go to parties or whatever in all these years. And people from his country, they find it as disrespectful to one another if they're at a party to not speak their language, not English. Now imagine a bunch of people who speak English are hearing this. How do you think people from this culture, of the United States, which is several cultures, but let's just say people of one, I don't want to specify it that way, but people who only speak English, let's just put it this way, people who only speak English, and they know that these people, the other people who are speaking, okay, I don't think that got that young girl in the video, so I'm going to do it like this. But now imagine people who only speak English, and they know that the other people who are refusing to speak English, but they do speak English. So there's nobody, if they spoke English, nobody would be left out. It's just, as bad as whispering, okay, and making sure that the other people don't hear you. It's very rude. Very rude. It's my personal opinion, but the other culture, people, their culture, that's what they'll say, is that if they don't speak their, language of origin, I guess you could say, their birth language, the first language, there it is, first language. If they don't, it's rude to one another. Been there, done that too many times. My personal opinion is speak English. Everybody speaks English. Please understand that you're being very rude to the people who like whispering. And I have seen people react to it, like especially people who speak Spanish in my situation, I've seen a lot of people who speak Spanish. If they speak English, the people I know who speak Spanish will speak English if they're around people that only speak English. But the one I met and married, they're not Spanish. They don't speak Spanish. They're not Mexican. They're not whatever. But they speak a different language. Boy, this is getting confusing. Imagine living there. But the people, people I have known that have been in this situation, they find it, there's, Mexican. They find it very rude. So then I've seen one do this one, and that was to call somebody on the phone and speak Spanish in front of them. They don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I'm texting. I've picked up some things, and I guess I don't know. It depends how you see it. If it's some or a lot, but it's rude. I don't know how in their culture it's not, their country it's not, their whatever it's not, but I find it rude. And you're around a lot of people like me, and a lot of other people who are like me. They find it very rude. Wow. Anyway, but some people, they think it's, my point in some of this is that some people have like a collective narcissism, is what generally people would throw it under. I've heard of me. But no, some people, throw everything under narcissism. Let's just, for this sake of this video, say, yeah, a collective narcissism, a group narcissism. It could be family. I've experienced that. They believe that they're the best thing on the planet Earth, and they know it all, and etc. And they can speak their own language. They can whisper because you're not one of the family members. That's rude. Okay, let me move on. I've mentioned the extra step people. Imagine wherever you live, I have never known a door in a newer home, not an older home, but say a newer since 1980s maybe, or 1990s, that's built to have only one lock on the doors, to go outside. They're going to have at least two. That's what I have seen personally. And I know there was a law that changed at some point in my lifetime where they had to have two locks on anything built new. Maybe it was just apartments, I don't know. I think it was everything, residential. So, anyway, those locks, they find them as to have to lock two locks on a door or more. That's an extra step, and they don't believe in doing it. One is enough, and that's only if it locks itself when you shut the door. Yeah, or if they get enough flack from it, they'll lock one, not the other, because the other person can, if they want that, they can come by and lock it themselves. You see? Because it's too much to raise their hand the size of a lock a little bit more, an extra inch from there up, because I've seen them, one's right above the other. No, that's a lot of extra steps. It's a lot more energy. You do see I'm being sarcastic. Okay, add a little more. I looked at my notes. Now this part, like the lock, they will find something to say, or just make it up. They make crap up to say. It's really not needed that you have two locks on the door. I mean, they make sure that you sound, they make it sound like you are a dummy for not knowing this. It's really not needed. So why bother? Or maybe they don't even say why bother, And they just try and make up something to get out of doing it and say, and make you sound like you're just as dumb as anything else, that they can say actually too. You get it? Anyway, out of doing anything that is normal, what normal people would do. If there are 15 locks on a door, you might want to lock more than one. I mean, it depends. I mean, here in Texas, I grew up in a house, we didn't lock the door at all during the day. It was only locked at night when everybody went to bed. I don't know, I think my dad locked it at the last of the night, but during the rest of the day, with 5 kids, 2 adults. So there was at one point there were 4 of my grandparents in the home. They didn't lock the doors. Not during the day, but I remember the time I went there as an adult, and some man in the neighborhood walked right into the house, and I was with my mother in the master bedroom, and he walked right into the house, into the bedroom, calling out her name. I come flying off the chair I was sitting in, and I was ready to attack. I'm serious. My mom was like, "It's okay." I'm not. No, that's not okay. People shouldn't just be walking right in your house and going into your bedroom. No. My mother had dementia, so no. You know, but he was a bad guy too. Turned out he was a bad guy. So anyway, lock the freaking door. I mean, I don't give anybody advice, but she locked the door after that. Yeah. I don't give anybody advice as far as on this, any video, on any of my videos. Nope, no form of advice, suggestion, nothing. I'm not here to teach, and I'm not here to tell you what to do. Any of that. Anyway. I sound like, nope. Okay, I'm reading my notes here. If I could see my reading when I got down to the last part of the index card. And I had to squeeze it. I write small anyway. Oh, here's one. It blames it. I've already said this basically. Blames it. If at all. Sometimes they feel like they don't have to explain it or anything. But they blame it on culture. You know? Or even you. I mean, I think many of us have seen that before. These kind of irritating people will find a way to twist it around to where you're at fault, like I've already said that too. In these examples. You know, they're not going to be wrong in any shape, you know, way, shape, form, or fashion. No, they're not wrong. It's you. You know, like the people who blame the victim and say things like, you know, it's just a little thing. That's so petty. Why don't you be the bigger person? The bigger person. Blame it. That is blaming the victim. You know, especially if somebody, say, like in their know-it-all family does something wrong, you need to be the bigger person. You're elder. You're the elders teach you know, in my traditions, my culture, the elders teach the next, you know, generations, you know, things like manners, appropriate manners, and not to try to, you know, do things the sneaky way, I'm beating the system way, or anything like that. They teach them to do the right things. They teach them right from wrong. Yeah, and they don't blame the other person, the other elder person. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Okay, and the other one, basically, it's the same as the first one, but similar. I mean, similar, not the same, but similar. You know, the person, like, you have a pizza party at work. I have seen this one happen. And they have a pizza party. They go out, they get a bunch of boxes of pizzas. They calculate how many people. 2 people. You know, you get 2 pieces, big slices. You know, 2 pieces each. But then there comes in somebody who just is like, and the situation I remember was a big guy. I thought, you shouldn't pick on big people just because they're big, think that they are the ones that did it. No. No. Nope. Can't say that either. Nope. No. Nope. But nope. Anyway, because I've seen some little bitty people eat a whole lot. This one that I was in, like I said, it was a big guy, like he was one to do the bodybuilding kind of stuff. And he just came in and grabbed a whole bunch of them, scooped them up in his hand, and left. It was like, dude, we're only supposed to get 2 each, you know, because they have to calculate some way. Some places might say 3 each. You know, you're not getting a whole box to yourself. A whole pizza to yourself. But, you know, nobody knows who knows what to do. I mean, strike the nobody. But who does? Who is the one that's going to go up to somebody and say, hey, you know, you took too much pizza. Don't do it again. We have rules, you know, this stuff. I mean, I think a simple solution is send out emails and have them sign it. Okay, got it. Send it back and then go from there. That'd be silly that you would have to do that, though. You know, or just send out something, say, hey, you know, to think about other people. Because imagine being the last person or two comes in and there's no pizza left. That's rude. It's rude for people who do that. But there's another one. Well, that's basically it. Now imagine that happening at home. So you were the person who went out and got the pizza or pizzas, however big your family is, and you come back and, you know, I have actually seen this one happen. Put something down on the table and like go to the restroom, simple go to the restroom. And then you're not in there for an hour, you know, you just go into the restroom like people do on a regular basis. Like, and you come out and it's like one piece left, or whatever kind of meal is, or none. You just felt like, hey, you know, you got it for us. Like you're not a person. You see, like it's all about them. Anyway, I did this list yesterday, the day before, I don't know, it was later. But there were so many other ones I can add to it about just irritating people who are irritating on that small level. You know, some call petty. But remember, what is the purpose, or what is the reason, the purpose, the whatever? Like, you're not as important. What you think it's about what's going on is fiction, because it's speculation, because you don't really know what's going on in their mind. Okay, you know, I've said this before, I'll say it again. When I was a student, they had professors, and probably more than one, say that we don't really know what motivates ourselves, you know, our own personal selves. Ourselves. So, ourself. How would you say that in that kind of sense? Anyway, but what truly motivates people, we don't know what motivates ourselves, much less somebody else, what truly motivates, because you can pretty much guess what's on the surface, how it looks, things, but maybe we're wrong. You know, because sometimes it just suddenly got busy here. But for some people, they're ignorant to the fact that they're being ignorant, or they're being rude, or they're being obnoxious, or what's really going on in the office pizza party. You know, they're just not tuned in. They're busy thinking about what project they're working on at work, so, you know, they may accidentally, you know, just kind of forget where they are. You know, have you ever done that? But you know, you're really, I don't want to mean it like that, like you forget where you are. But like some people, you know, I said about the food, they go there and they think, oh, somebody had some food, I'm going to take a little bit. You know, it's on a tray. You see, maybe they just had this left over. You see, and they're not trying to steal something. But that takes a lot for a person to get to that point in life where they can be accepting of other people's faults. Now, if a person is that way on a regular basis, has been warned, has been told, has that, then there's a ... On that note,